Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be a little get ready with me and catch up video, so if you want to see how I did this and all of the things that are going on in my life, just keep watching. Okay everyone, so I have dry shampoo in my hair. Let me flip my head upside down, put it in a bun, and then we can actually get started on this. Okay, now that this is settled, I just redid my hair last night, so I'm not washing it. It's a lot more red than I wanted to. I use Hayley Williams brand Good Dye Young to dye my hair, and I used a lot of Riot because I just had a tube left over, so I squeezed it into my mixture, and it made it a little more like a darker orange, almost like a burnt orange versus like this orange, I would say, which is fine. I'm not mad about it at all. It's just darker than I thought it was gonna be. So let's get started on the face. I'm gonna do a little bit of moisturizer, and this is the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Water Gel. This is not I usually get the extra dry one, but I think this one was on sale for whatever reason, so I got this one. As you guys probably noticed, I took 2 weeks off from making videos after I built my furniture, and that was because classes just started back up again, and I wanted to try and figure out my schedule. Like, making videos was not part of figuring that out because school takes precedent over everything, because I'm paying way too much money for it. I just wanted to make sure that I knew what my schedule was gonna look like, how I was gonna like break down homework, because you know, the first week you've got like nothing, and then all of a sudden you like, oh my god, I have 4 readings for one class and I have 2 to 3 other classes, and this one class has me reading like over 100 pages and watching 2 films that I don't necessarily want to watch. So it's time consuming and it takes a lot of brain power. I'm also working on, since I'm a graduate student and getting my master's degree, I'm also working on a thesis, which is incredibly daunting, but I really like my writer's room class where we like go over each other's stuff and talk about it and give each other hints. It's just nice, and it's not formal. Like, you know how I feel like when I was in like middle school through high school, and even some of like undergrad, peer review is really daunting because it's like, oh, partner up with someone you don't normally work with and, you know, have them read your stuff, and it's just like very weird. Whereas this one, we're reading over each other's stuff, but like on our own time, and it's very informal. And you know, I've been in classes with these kids for now a year and then some change. We know each other pretty well, so it's pretty casual, fun class to like sit in and talk about everything with. And me, because I bring the class not down, but I tend to make like just joke around. Like, things are getting done, I'm taking things seriously, but I just goof around all the time in that class, and I make jokes and I make puns, which is, it's nice to be in an environment where you feel productive, you feel like you're learning something, but you just get to, you know, goof off a little bit. Whereas I feel like, and it also, the professor is fantastic, because I've had professors that take stuff like that really seriously, and it just kind of makes you not want to do it. You kind of dread it, and it just doesn't, your work's not as good as it could be because you're so stressed out about it. I am taking I don't actually like this color is too orange for me, but we're gonna blend it out. So this is why I'm doing it before I do my foundation. So this is the ColourPop Super Shock Cheek Bronzer in the color I'll Bet, like Isle, like an Isle of Man, like an island, I'll Bet. And so we're gonna take this on this little, what is this called? Face shape brush, and we're just gonna do it. Pockets a little bit up here and then on the jawline. So anyway, my thesis is about the adult fandom and, well, Bluey and its ever-growing adult fandom. And I'm relating it to like the rise of this to gentle parenting, like the Montessori method and the idea of play. And so one of my classmates, actually, I need to text them, made a really good suggestion, or the way they phrased something, they were like, it's making new rules, which is really kind of a genius thought, and I should have known that they would have a genius thought because they're a genius. They, you know, I showed them the episode Housework and how it's kind of like changing up the way that we were taught to be adults. Like, you get to goof around and joke around and find the balance between being really serious, like you think that you have to be, versus like just being able to be serious and get things done and be professional, or be a responsible adult and still getting to joke around, which is like my entire motto of life. So that's why I'm very happy to be writing about it. I think it's a really good thing. And so I'm just working on my proposal right now, and in classic Olivia style, I overthought it. So now I have to go through and edit some stuff before my meeting. We're doing individual meetings this week, so before I meet with my professor. So that's what's going on with that. And then I'm gonna take, this is the, what is this called? This is the ColourPop No Filter Foundation, and this is in the color Fair 25W, which is lighter than my foundation color. And I'm gonna do that under my eyes because guess what, guys? For the first time in my life ever, I found, here's my concealer brush, I found some dark circles, which I know you can't see right now, but I can tell. And I also got a good night's sleep last night, but right here was looking a little dull. And I was like, whoa, I gotta brighten this up. So now concealer really matters to me, whereas before I didn't. So I'm gonna do stuff right here and right here. I believe this technique is called underpainting, and I think it comes from drag queens, but we're gonna do it for normal people, not, you know, for everyday wear. And if you think it's a lot of concealer, that's because it is. So I'm gonna take the leftover on my brush and just put it here, and I won't do it on my nose because for whatever reason my nose seems to get gross. What was I talking about? Oh right, I was talking about my thesis, but that's pretty much all you need to know is like how I'm connecting it to the Montessori method and gentle parenting, and just the idea of play and how it's a positive thing for adults, and not like, I don't really want to talk about the like brony adult fandom that happened for My Little Pony. Where is that one sponge? This is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh foundation, hyaluronic hydrating foundation in the color Light 45W. I'm almost out of this and I am gonna be so sad. No, okay, I think it's time to start doing this. Yeah, I didn't want to talk about that, although I fear I might also need to talk about how, like, you know, animation is a medium and not a genre, and so it's okay for adults to like it, but you know, Bluey's target audience is preschoolers, so it's a little bit interesting that adults would be so attached to it the way that they are. But yeah, that's what I'm working on. That's what I've been working on. I'm pretty excited to write it. I did a lot of research over the summer, and so I have everything like defined, and now it's just the hardest part is putting the words coherently on a page, which is not fun to do. It's actually something that I find really, really difficult is, you know, verbalizing a thought. Like, I have all these thoughts, but now I have to make them make sense to other people and not just in my head. Yeah, that's what I've been up to academically, at least. I'm also taking a East Asian cinema class, which has been interesting so far. We have to watch The Ring, the Japanese version of The Ring, which is like so scary. This is like the third time I've had to watch it for a class, and I know it's important, but like, oh, it's awful. I hate horror films so much. So I have to watch that. I'm dreading it. And then what's my other class that I have? Oh, television studies. And I ranted about WandaVision the other day because the professor assigned a reading that I was like, it's been rendered completely moot, not only by the you know, Multiverse of Madness coming out, but also a lot of her points were like, she related it back to the Salem witch trials, and like how WandaVision not only calls on television history, but like we need to talk about the history of witches in media, which I thought was really interesting. Unfortunately, I just really didn't agree with this one scholar's take because she clearly just didn't understand not only the MCU, which I get that a lot of people have written off the MCU as vapid and just consumerist or whatever, but like these characters have been around forever, so I don't really think that that's a fair take, especially because Comic-Con is for nerds. Like, comic books are for nerds, and so are those MCU movies. Disney doesn't understand that they're still a niche market, and they're not as much as they're a massive media conglomerate and they are the biggest franchises ever, there's still like a niche appeal about it. Like, there are people who consume them just because like, oh, it's the next big movie, like we should go see it. And then there are the people who like really understand everything about it and they care about their media analysis with it and they relate to these characters. So yeah, it was just a fundamental misunderstanding, and so I kind of ranted about how that this one scholar was very wrong. Oh, Molly's in here. Hi. I thought I saw you. Come here. Anyway, so television studies is fun because I don't know if you know this. I prefer TV. I'd rather watch TV. So that I was very excited about that. And then she made a comment that really pissed me off, and I think I'm reading too much into it, so I didn't really vocalize it, but it did really annoy me. So someone else had to present on another article we had to read about Westworld, which is a great TV show. But she was like, she like made a comment in passing. She was like, this is the more complex, and not that WandaVision isn't complex, but cerebral show. And I was like so annoyed with that because it's so backhanded, because I'm tired of being stripped of my depth and intelligence because I want to talk about things that are a little more mainstream. Because while I agree that a lot of these mainstream media sources have very conservative views, it doesn't make someone who wants to talk about it any less intelligent or any less cerebral, especially when you consider what their take on it is and how they might understand it differently. And so I have been consistently annoyed with, even in undergrad, I think, but I was also a little bit more pretentious in undergrad, is the pretension and the sort of idea that you are, as a media scholar, you are divorced from talking about things in the mainstream. And that is a lesson I learned as I just got older and I was working more, and I'm like, you know what, I don't have the time or the energy to really seek out these, incredible works that should be made and should be discussed. But, sometimes you just don't have the energy to do that. And I don't think that it makes you any less smart or, your views any less valid if you want to talk about something that maybe more people know about, because maybe it'll interest more people in doing a little bit of a deep dive. Anyway, rant about pretentious scholars over. Let's talk about something fun, shall we? NSYNC is coming back. How do we feel about that? Because I'll admit, I was too young the first time that they were around. I was born in 94, and most of their music came out when I was like 4 or 5, or like their last album came out in 2001. I was 7. So yeah, there's that. I'm taking the Orange You Glad palette from ColourPop. I've had this for years, and the first color I'm gonna take is Zested all over the lid. Despite that, growing up, my sister and I are really big America's Best Dance Crew fans, and if you know, JC Chazet was one of the judges on that show, and he was just so charming and so wonderful. I would probably say he was one of my favorites. Who else was on there? It was like Lil Mama and Dietrich's after I think one of the people left for a controversial reason. I don't even remember his name. I just remember him mispronouncing a lot of things. And so yeah, I love JC Chazet, and I have, like, just because I love music, I have been a fan of NSYNC, just not, I wouldn't say I'm like a crazy fan. Although this time around, because I get to participate in things like fandom, which is something that I love participating in, and just like, even if I don't post about anything, I love watching other people get excited about things. So all of the excitement surrounding NSYNC's return with the one song Better Place for a movie that we won't talk about because of the writer's strike and the actor's strike is very, very exciting. And I am under no false pretenses that it's anything but a marketing, like sneaky marketing for a movie that you can't really talk about. And it's like, we're gonna drum up all this excitement and still make money off of it because it's NSYNC, but we're not really saying what it's for. But anyway, yeah, a lot of people are talking like, oh, we want an album, and I'm not of the mindset that I want an album per se, because I've recently been like, okay, I'm like, I love nostalgia, I like to reminisce, but I don't like people just hanging on to relevancy for dear life, and it feels very like cash grabby. So I think, and this is like my full belief, if we got an EP and either like one reunion tour or a Vegas residency, and I think I would prefer the Vegas residency. I think it would be really fun, and it just, yeah, I that's what I would prefer, and I'm gonna stick to that. I am under like no false pretenses about what this comeback really is. However, it's very fun, and something I've gotten to see because I am an internet person and I'm on the internet all fucking day, is that a lot of people, my age and older, so millennials, a lot of straight men have been talking about how they had to pretend like, or they felt like they had to pretend like they didn't like NSYNC growing up because like it's a boy band, it's for young women, right? You're like, back when calling someone gay or queer, when it was an insult and when it was very taboo and it was something that you didn't want to talk about, or like there's a very toxic idea of masculinity, and if you like bands like that, you're any less of a man. So I've gotten to see a couple of straight men my age who had to pretend before be excited about that, and so I think it's a really good thing. They just did Hot Ones. The episode just came out this morning, so I watched that while I drank my coffee. And once again, my favorite, JC, cool as a cucumber, just the best always. So it's fun because I love Hot Ones, so getting to do that. Maybe one day I'll spoof them and get some chicken wings and have like my sister or something, or maybe I'll get my sister and my dad and we can do Hot Ones and like take that format and ask each other stupid questions. So, by the way, I took the color Rise and Grind and I put it in my crease and under my eyes here. So that's going on with NSYNC, which of course sent me down like a boy band spiral. And I listened to the Backstreet Boys. I've been listening to old Britney because like she's an effing queen and no one can touch her. Next, I'm taking the color Mimosa Mommy, this one right here, the like reddish one, because it matches the tone of my hair. We're gonna put that in the outer V here. Listening to that a lot, which has just been very, very fun. And then, I don't know how many of you have seen this movie, but Josie and the Pussycats, the fake boy band in that is called Du Jour, and they've got 2 songs. And so I sent Grace a text and was like, I've spiraled, and she's responded with the best response anyone could have, which is I'm gonna start asking people if they fuck with Du Jour, which is amazing because they're 2 songs. Highly recommend. I do also highly recommend that movie. It's about bringing this full circle. It's about making decisions for yourself in pop culture and like deciding what you actually like versus just listening to like what's trending and like, you know, having your own personal opinions. So I think that it'll forever be relevant, even if it's been like a decade since I saw the movie, so I don't know. It's a comedy and it's a spoof, so you know, comedy ages like milk, so sometimes you're just like, get some jokes and I don't know what's in it. So I would advise that if you do watch it, proceed with caution. You don't know what's gonna fly out of someone's mouth. So yeah, there's that. What else? I talk so fast when I do these that I like run out of all the topics that I thought I was gonna talk about. I think I'm gonna do, this coming week, I'm gonna do a week in the life as a grad student, so you guys know what I do on the daily. That's gonna be a fun video. A classmate of mine is in a band and they're gonna have a show this coming Friday, and I think I'm gonna go to that with my friend Hector, which is nice because it's been so long since I've seen live music and even like a small town band. So I'm very excited about that. And yeah, that'll be at like the very end of my week in the life of a grad student video. I don't know how much I'm gonna film of them, though. I probably won't do a whole lot because it's weird. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, don't put that much of your life on the internet. Like there's a reason I don't really talk about like my roommate, or like I talk about my sister. Even then, like I try and keep a lot of my family private. My mom does a social media thing so she can be online, but like my stepdad doesn't, my cousins don't. So it's something that's really important to me, is to maintain their privacy for a lot of reasons. And I also just don't ever want anything like that to like be intrusive in anyone else's life. Like this is my choice and my choice alone. So if you don't want to be on the internet, you shouldn't have to deal with being on the internet because some family member of yours posts everything. I did do a little bit of outlining on my waterline with the color Ya Peel Me, which is this darker color here, but I'm gonna go over it with the NYX Vivid Matte liquid liner, which has been the best eyeliner I've used in a very long time. I think I discussed this before, probably at some point, how like NYX used to have like the best liquid liner and then they discontinued it, and I was trying a bunch of different eyeliners and then they brought it back in the form of this, which is nice because it's like, it used to be 8, but now it's probably like 14 if I'm being completely honest, which is fine. It's in a big pot though, so it lasts me quite a few months. But yeah, okay, I gotta focus on this. Okay, my eyes are 2 different shapes, and every day I'm forced to deal with the fact that my wings will never be even, and that's okay. Okay, I'm gonna stop touching it. So I recently spoke to an old friend of mine, if you guys remember E-Money from college. He's one of my best friends, and he texted me and he was like, what happened to all of the vlogs from that? Now, if you don't know, I've been on the internet for a very long time. I started a new channel actually, and so my vlog channel from college is still up. I'm not gonna post it anywhere. Is this the right color? Yes. I'm not posting it anywhere just because, like I said, I don't really want to put people who don't want to be on the internet in that space anymore. I sent him some old videos that I had, and like the whole channel's still up, and we were able to like reminisce and be like, oh, that was a lot of fun. I really miss you guys because we live very far away from each other, which is a bummer because we had a lot of fun in college. But that also led me to go digging in my Google Drive, and I found some of my experimental films from when I was in college. So I'm tempted to put them up here for Halloween because I don't know, maybe I'll put them up at some point, and definitely not all of them. I have a lot that are like deeply personal that I don't want to share with the whole internet. Because I needed to scratch that itch in college, and it's so funny now because like I rewatched them and I was like, wow, I'm pretty good if I do say so myself. But I no longer have feel the need to express myself in that creative way. Right now I'm doing a lot of like, I would argue, commercial stuff, and I'm okay with that because it's what I'm interested in doing right now. And again, like, you know, we talk a lot about just in general, consumerism, capitalism, you know, commercial stuff, marketing, or at least I do, and I think about it all the time. But I try and do my commercial stuff with as much integrity as I can, while still reiterating that like you don't need to consume, you don't need to buy. I know I go to Disneyland all the time, and you don't need to do that to be happy. There's so much more than consumption to being happy. So that's where I'm at. I don't know if I'll ever make experimental film again, but I might. And then my senior thesis, I actually chose to do a narrative because the choice was work by yourself tirelessly on a senior thesis project for the entire school year, or do a narrative comedy with your friends for your last year of college. And I chose the latter because that's a very obvious choice to me to make. I don't know. If I post anything, it won't be like on this YouTube channel. I'll post it somewhere else. And then share a link on like my Instagram or something, because I don't think that it fits on this channel. It's not something that I really would like to push, but you guys gotta let me know if you would like to see that at all, if you're at all curious, especially because they're 6 years old at some of them might actually be 10 years old at this point, now that I think about it. So, you know, they're a little bit older. I'm just gonna put a list of products used in the description. So that's where I currently stand. I'm like undecided on like what I want to do with those, because it was nice to watch, it was nice to look at, and I would like to share those, but I don't know if you guys are even remotely interested in that, or if I should just leave it be. I might also put a poll on my Instagram and be like, hey, who wants to see this? But yeah, it's interesting the way that I feel creatively fulfilled now versus then. I will say something still reigns true. This is my canvas, as is this, and so are the clothes that I wear. It was really funny actually watching some of my vlogs back. I was like very 2016 makeup. My eyebrows, I was like, girl, those are really thick and you can tell that they're drawn on, and like your hair doesn't actually go there. And then I recently, after not wearing lipstick because of the pandemic and the mask, that's when I stopped. And I think a lot of people stopped wearing the like bold liquid lipstick. And as I'm watching it back, I'm like, your lips are way overdrawn. And at that, they're squiggly, like they're uneven. Fix that. So every time I would watch a video back, I'm cringing at the things that are coming out of my mouth because my perspective has changed so much in the last decade. But that's just life, you know? So like growing and learning. But I'm like, girl, fix your makeup. Like, I know you were running out the door to go to class, but unacceptable. It's also just interesting that I used to treat class like a fashion show, and now I'm like, you don't have to wear that to class. I always try and like look a little put together for class, but it's not like I think when I had like my radio and everything, I would try and dress up and like be on theme, and I would do like shorts and tights, which was the style back then. But now I wore a big t-shirt, and I put on my Doc Marten, like big t-shirt, bike shorts, and Doc Martens, and I was like, this is a lot. girl, you're just going to class, put some sneakers on. So I did that, and it was much more casual. I do think my personal style is a little bit more dramatic though than everyday casual wear. So it's like hard to find that line between like you're doing way too much and you are a dramatic person and this is like normal for you. So I'm trying to find the balance of like not even age appropriate stuff, because I don't think I'll ever have like an age appropriate style. As I sit here at 29 with bright orange hair and bright orange makeup and a shirt that says Playboy with Loki on it, I don't think I'll ever dress age appropriate, but there is situationally appropriate. Like there's a line, and I'm trying to find the line without being entirely too much. So, but I will say being around people that are younger than me is nice, although I fall into the trap, and I do it to myself. It's not them where I'm like, I'm so old, and it's like no one actually gives a flying fuck, Olivia. You're there to talk to them, like who cares? And that's my own insecurity, I think, maybe, even though I try my best to not care about turning 30, because like 30's not the end. There's plenty of more time and life left in me. I feel very young still. But then every once in a while, like people will make a comment like, oh man, you're no spring chicken. And I'm like, well, yeah, I have all of this life experience. So it's a constant thing where like you're taught X, Y, and Z about aging, and then you feel X, Y, and Z about aging. And so once again, I think the theme for this year, because as we all know, the first of the year is not the first day of the year is not January 1st. It's the beginning of school, which is September. At least if you're in the northern hemisphere. So my goal for this year is balance, and I think that holds true with my thesis, what I'm talking about, holds true for my life, what I'm talking about. So we're working on balance. The goal for the year before I turn 30, my last year as a 29-year-old teenager before I become a 30-year-old teenager, is balance. I am gonna blend this out, I promise. I know it's there. So yeah, that's my update for you on everything that's been happening up here and out here while I took 2 weeks off from making videos. It is gonna definitely be a week in the life, but that's gonna start on Sunday. Today is Thursday. Yes, it's Thursday. I swear to God, the second class is over like on Wednesdays, which is my last day of classes. I'm just like, I don't know what day it is. I have no clue what day it is. All that I can focus on is like, okay, what needs to get done? And like today is clean my bedroom day, because I'm sure as you can tell, it's a little bit disheveled. I also have to run to the post office today. Shit. Okay. So I have to run to the post office. I have to clean my room and bathroom, and I should make food, because just a content warning for you guys. If you're like sensitive to topics about food, I just want to throw that out there. But I have had zero appetite, so I haven't been eating the best. It's not my favorite thing. I'm actually really upset about it. It's really bothering me, because I'm getting all of the food signals from my brain and my stomach, like you need to eat something, and then I go to eat something and I feel like I want to throw up, and I don't like it. And I don't know if that's also part of why I like kind of didn't want to make a video, because I haven't felt super great. I'm starting to get my appetite back as I like get into my routine. It might have just been a little bit of stress. What did I not do? Lips. So we're trying to like work through that. I hate it. I want to be able to eat normally. I love to eat, and it's like I can't make myself food. If I order food, I do okay, but I'm trying to save money, so it's like not that great. Yeah, anyway, this is I think everything I've used today is NYX and ColourPop and e.l.f. I don't think there's anything above $20 that I've put on my face today. So this is the color What's Your Sign. It was a limited edition Kathleen Lights ColourPop collab lipstick. So we're gonna do this lightly, and then I'm gonna put a gloss over it. So I have to stop talking for 2 seconds. This lip gloss was clear, and then I started doing this lip combo, and it's no longer clear. Looks like that. Okay, let me take my hair down and kind of brush through all of the dry shampoo that's in here. I love when my hair is this bright. It's not something that I maintain all the time, because it takes a lot of like time and effort to maintain this hair color. Maybe if you guys are interested, I'll like go full YouTuber and post a video like how I do my hair. Maybe that'll probably be in January though, because I'm not gonna do my roots for 3 weeks. I just did them a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and then I realized what month it was, and I was like, oh, make your hair bright orange again. So this is the preferred color to keep it, but most of the time it's that natural light auburn color that's like almost brown, almost blonde, but definitely has some red in it. So yeah, I'm gonna get dressed, and I'm just gonna wear a big t-shirt and some leggings, so you don't need to see my outfit. Just breathed in dry shampoo. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching this get ready catch up video with me. I hope you enjoyed it. I like doing them, so maybe I'll do them more often. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you would like to see either, you know, the week in my life as a grad student, how I maintained this copper orange mop that I call hair, anything else you would like to see. And yeah, you know, all the YouTuber things, click the subscribe button, leave a comment, give me a thumbs up, you know, all the stuff that you don't want to hear. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you as soon as I can. Bye.